I don't want to see my sister like this either, but you're her sister-in-law, so it's okay, right? Yes, that's true, but actually, my name is Madison. I recently got married to my husband, Mike, but we've been dating since high school. You might think we were classmates, but we actually attended different high schools. We first met when I went to visit Sophia's house. She was a senior in my club who I was close with, and Mike happened to be there. Perhaps because of that, I have a long history with my in-laws and have always had a good relationship with them. Even now, I still refer to Sophia as Sophia, who is in the position often referred to as my sister-in-law. I've had a peaceful married life, and it hasn't changed even after living with my in-laws. Originally, Mike's workplace and my workplace were far from each other. Because of that, I had planned to quit my job when we got married. We were discussing renting an apartment near Mike's parents' house, but Mike said, "I'm sorry, Madison. I'm too busy at work and haven't been able to look for a place yet. Would it be okay to live with my parents until we settle down?" When Mike said that to me, I ended up living with them despite being newlyweds, but I guess it's also my responsibility as I left everything to Mike. Plus, Mike's parents own a business and he works there, so it's easier for him to live with them. That's why I agreed to live with them. Plus, I was confident that I could live with my in-laws without any problems. The location of my in-laws' house is in the countryside, so I haven't decided where I'll work yet, so I'm working with Mike and his parents who run their own business as support while doing household chores. I occasionally help with their work. That's the life I've been leading. Sophia, who lived nearby, would come to visit me occasionally because she has weekdays off. Having someone to talk to, I feel that my life is quite meaningful. However, amidst this peaceful life, a problem arose. Sophia suddenly started acting strangely. Her facial expression was clearly different from before, and she started forgetting things more frequently. Even I, who only see her occasionally, noticed this and felt something was off. Sophia herself seemed to be aware of these symptoms. I was concerned too, so I went to the hospital. They told me it's early onset Alzheimer's. I'm scared. Sophia informed this at our family home. Needless to say, neither I, Mike, nor my in-laws had any real knowledge about the disease. Even so, it was clear that living alone would be difficult with Alzheimer's. My in-laws quickly and assertively took the steps to cancel Sophia's lease and set up living arrangements for her at our home. That was the day my hardships began. My in-laws and Mike all seemed indifferent about Sophia moving in and made no attempts to get involved in taking care of Sophia. They said, "What do you want us to do? We have work. We're the ones earning money, so Madison, please take care of Sophia." With that, they swiftly left for their work. At first, I thought it couldn't be helped since they were busy with work, but it soon became apparent that the three were trying to escape from the caregiving responsibilities. They said, "Just working is tough enough for us old folks. We can't possibly take on caregiving too. It's painful to see our daughter in this state. I don't want to see it, Madison. I'm sorry. Since we're married, I need to provide for us, right? That's why I want to focus on working, so I want you Madison to take care of the house. We're a couple, so each of us has to fulfill our roles," though they said this. There were days when they just watched TV, leaving me to take care of Sophia. Despite having Alzheimer's, Sophia wasn't entirely unconscious or unable to remember anything. So seeing the three of them like this made her look painfully sad. "I'm sorry for being a burden, Madison," she said, shedding tears in front of me. I was at a loss for words, and all I could do was pat her back. And then the situation took a turn for the worse. Unbeknownst to me, my in-laws and Mike were arranging to rent a new house. What's more, they were preparing to move into the new home with just the three of them. We're tired from work. If we're with our daughter who has Alzheimer's, we won't get any rest. You stay here and continue to care for Sophia. You're only doing housework anyway, so it shouldn't be a problem, right? We're kind enough to let you off from doing any housework at our new home. She's not a complete stranger. You are close with Sophia, so it's okay, right? I'll send enough money for living expenses, so please just take good care of Sophia. They truly did leave the house just as they said they would. And so it was just Sophia and I left behind in the house. All three of them seemed to go to their jobs every day, but they never once showed their faces back at home. In fact, even when they crossed paths with me, they didn't even try to ask about Sophia. Only then did I realize that the three of them had fully escaped from their caregiving duties and had dumped Sophia to me. I felt desperate realizing the situation I was left in. I was left wondering what would happen to me in the future. I looked it up on the internet, and it seems that although it's possible to slow down the progression of early onset Alzheimer's, it's hard to completely cure it. If that's the case, I would have to continue taking care of Sophia forever. It's difficult to work while also taking care of Sophia, so I probably won't be able to find a new job. In terms of finances, I don't have any problems for now because of the money that Mike left behind. He said he would handle the money issues in the future as well. But is that really true? There's no guarantee that he'll really keep sending money in the future. There's no way I could trust the people who dumped Sophia to me and abandoned her. Plus, the money I have right now isn't enough for me to live on for the rest of my life, given that I can't go out. So, I need to work, but I can't leave Sophia alone at home, so even going out for job hunting is difficult. Perhaps I could rely on government services, but even when I looked it up on the internet, there were so many specialized terms that I couldn't understand, plus my mind isn't functioning well because of my fatigue and lack of sleep. Just when I was feeling utterly devastated, suddenly, yes, I finally did it, I heard Sophia's cheerful voice. I thought it couldn't be, but I turned my eyes to Sophia, wondering what that was, and there stood Sophia, looking completely different from before, with the same firm expression she used to have. It was hard to believe that she was suffering from Alzheimer's. In response to my surprise, Sophia told me, "I'm sorry for surprising you, Madison. Actually, I don't have early onset Alzheimer's. I didn't even go to the hospital. So I was worried about what I would do if they asked me to show them a diagnosis. They seemed to believe me just from my behavior and words, but, well, they didn't even try to take me to the hospital." "What, Sophia, why did you lie about that?" I asked. She replied, "Actually, I overheard Mike telling his parents before you got married to him, saying that I'm forcing my wife to live with us, so use her however you like. Both of my parents agreed with him, and I thought this was going to be bad." According to Sophia, Mike's excuse for not being able to find a place of our own wasn't because of his busy work schedule. It seemed that he simply didn't look because he wanted to force me to live with his parents. He had been using his free time to strategize with his parents about how to make me work for free. I thought Mike was just showing off in front of his parents before you married him, getting a little carried away, but he really didn't look for a house, and after you got married, he still acted all high and mighty. Right? He even spoke ill of you when you weren't around. I probably didn't have the right to interfere, but you're my precious friend, and I couldn't stand seeing you treated so poorly like that. So I intended to expose their true colors. It seems that Sophia, having these thoughts, consulted with a friend to change the situation, and she decided to pretend to have early onset Alzheimer's. In normal circumstances, as parents, they should have taken care of her with utmost dedication, but they were different. They made me take care of her, just as Sophia had anticipated. What's more, they ran away from home, using their work as an excuse, leaving me with Sophia. Upon hearing this from Sophia, I suddenly realized something. Because we've known each other for a long time, I thought I could trust them to live together. I even convinced myself that I was happy because I didn't have to deal with typical mother-in-law and daughter-in-law arguments. Of course, that was a huge mistake. Until I spoke with Sophia, until today, since I got married, I wasn't happy at all. Every day, I was busy with the household chores of the entire family, and I couldn't even spend time alone with Mike. Even when I was doing housework late at night, everyone seemed to take it for granted without a word of thanks. "You're still not done? Even though it's so late? That's tough. I'll go to bed first. You're really incompetent. You're so clumsy. Do you think you can make it in the future?" I was being subjected to such verbal abuse every day. However, because there was no physical violence or direct harassment, I hadn't realized that I was in a miserable state. "Madison, you've always put others first and took care of yourself less," Sophia said. I knew and thought that they'd run away right away. They're always conscious of their public image because they own their business. I thought they would definitely leave money to keep appearances. I thought that might give you a little freedom. After she said that, I remembered something. Indeed, everyone thought there was something wrong with Sophia's behavior and facial expression. If a stranger saw it, they would probably think Sophia was sick, but she was just being forgetful, and she never had to ask for assistance with things like the toilet, a bath, or any other required assistance. I'm sure that Sophia did this all for my sake. From Sophia, who even risked herself to act like this, I received courage. There is someone who cares for and thinks about me so much. In order not to invalidate Sophia's actions, I have to figure out what to do going forward. From that day on, I immediately began preparations to move and job hunt for re-employment secretly from my in-laws and Mike. Of course, when the three of them came over, Sophia continued to pretend to have Alzheimer's as before. But except for those times, she fully helped me with moving preparations and such so the three wouldn't find out about it. Moreover, the three of them didn't even come to check on Sophia at home out of concern. They only happened to pass by when they had other errands to do. Therefore, there was no worry of being found out about the move or the job hunting, and everything proceeded smoothly. And then, about a month after I found out the truth, I was able to find a good place to move and a place to work at. The preparations were all ready, so we decided to tell everything to the three of them. Actually, I had intended to leave without saying anything, but I was stopped by Sophia. I was going to leave without saying anything. What are you saying? You're being naive, Madison. We have to make sure they regret, Sophia said with a stern face. I made up my mind to confront Mike and his parents and talk. Of course, all three of them knew the truth and were furious. What, Sophia, what are you thinking? And it's none of your business how I treat my wife, that's right. The job of a bride is to do housework and serve her husband. That's her position. I've always done it that way. I can't believe Sophia is such a terrible daughter. You are no longer our daughter or anything. I can't even consider Madison as Mike's wife anymore. We will take back all the living expenses we gave you before. Don't ever come back to this house again. That's right. How can I stay married to you? I'll divorce you right away and make sure to return the money. You thief. Yes, money is important. We'll definitely get it back. The three of them were all fussing about money. Then Sophia handed a piece of paper to them. You remember this, right? It's the paper you wrote when you left me with Madison and left what? No way, they said. The paper stated that they were giving me money as living expenses and asked me to take care of Sophia. Perhaps due to their habit of drawing up contracts, the signatures of all three were right on the paper. With this paper, I won't be called a thief who stole money from them. To be honest, I'm not sure if this has any legally binding force, but it would be troublesome if this contract were exposed, wouldn't it? The people who dumped their sick daughter on Madison and ran away wouldn't want their neighborhood to know about all this, right? All your impressions will be damaged, especially when you're running your own business. Damn it. That's not fair, they said. Yeah, that's right, Sophia. You're playing dirty, they complained, but they didn't seem to be able to argue any further. After all, it was a fact that they dumped their sick daughter on me and were living carefree in their new home. To be honest, I had more than enough money to live on. For a while, but for them, it certainly wouldn't look good in the eyes of the public. Then, I filled out a divorce paper that Sophia had prepared without my knowledge, and the five of us went to submit it. While Sophia and I were in high spirits, the three of them had dark, gloomy expressions on their faces. But since this was a result of their own actions, I didn't feel an ounce of sympathy for them. Hey, Madison, why don't we start over? If you don't want to live together, I'll find an apartment for us this time, and if you don't want my parents around, I'm willing to change jobs, so please don't abandon me, Mike said. What are you saying now? I didn't dislike the idea of living together or having my in-laws nearby or running our own business, I replied. Then what do you hate, he asked. Wow, you really don't get it, do you? I grew tired of your cowardly character, Mike, who was ready to abandon your own sister, Sophia, and who just stood by laughing while I struggled. Is that so? Mike seemed depressed, but that couldn't be helped. I was even disgusted with Mike, who didn't realize his foolishness until I pointed it out. Why did I choose to marry such a person? Why did I live with these people? Honestly, the more I think about it, the more I'm filled with regret. Sophia and I were able to leave them. It seems that while I was unaware, Sophia had been laying the groundwork in the neighborhood. The truth is, I've recently got ill and my family abandoned me. Mike pushed my sister-in-law, Madison, to take care of me, but she never abandoned me and cared for me, Sophia had told the neighbors. I had no idea. Now that you mention it, I did notice something off recently. Are you okay now? Yes, all thanks to Madison, but I've come to dislike my family after this incident. So we've decided to leave home together. I'm afraid of what might happen if I get sick again. Ah, I see. You can't trust a family that won't help in tough times. I think you're doing the right thing. Stay strong, both of you exactly. Thank you. We plan to live together from now on. I'm surprised. I thought they were good people, but appearances can be deceiving. I don't think I can trust them anymore, the neighbors said. Sophia's words had a significant impact. She had made a point of greeting the neighbors while in her wheelchair, pushed by me. The three of them, who were Sophia's actual family, didn't even try to push her wheelchair. Moreover, the neighbors had seen the three of them going to work every day. There were rumors that they were living somewhere else or that something had happened. This is why Sophia's words had credibility, and it made sense. So many of the neighbors believed her. When we left the house, the rumors spread rapidly. Now they seem to be living as social outcasts. Sophia, what have you told everyone? Come back and explain properly. That's right. Our business won't work with these rumors. What are you going to do about it, Sophia? That's harsh. Please convince Madison to reconcile with me. Help me. The messages from the three of them seemed to come to Sophia's phone every day. Of course, nobody wants to do business with people surrounded by bad rumors. Sophia doesn't seem to want to help, so I suspect their business will only become more difficult. But even with the situation as it is, I don't feel a shred of sympathy for them. As for me, I'm working hard at my new job. New tasks, unfamiliar surroundings, new relationships. Though there are hard and exhausting times, my life is much more fulfilling than when I was at my in-laws. Living with Sophia is even more fun than I imagined. We maintain a comfortable distance, share chores, and occasionally eat together. Supporting each other, giving and taking, and living together is a wonderful thing. With what has happened, I have had enough of relationships, and I absolutely do not want to go through another marriage again. However, if these peaceful days continue, I don't think there's a need to force myself to remarry. For now, I just want to live happily and be true to myself in the future.